Yes, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's about 2 minutes to the top of the hour of 9 a.m. that we are coming to you live once again back from the capital, Kampala, Uganda, there to bring you the very latest from the world of football, from the world of sport, as things have happened over the course of the night. Like I told you, when it comes to the transfer window, the rumor mill never stops. It never goes dim. Hi, Evers Edits. You're welcome to the channel. First to get on here. Really quite early. Like it's often said, the early bird eats the worm, and you are the early bird today. Good to have you on the broadcast. I hope you're doing well. I hope the new week is being kind to you and whoever else that you do mind on that end. So this morning we'll be speaking about Manchester United who have been offered the chance to hijack, a significant Arsenal transfer. However, that is not yet to happen through, but we'll wait and see how that will develop. Anyways, yeah. Otherwise, I hope everything is good for you on that side, my brother. I don't know if it's my screen, but I thought as a bit ish. So allow me have our audios tested before we get into the conversation, as we also wait for the others to join us this morning on this wonderful Tuesday morning. But before we get to that, I also wish to send out my special shout outs to every single one of you that was part of last night's broadcast. The likes of Rodrigo Hala Madridista, Jiga there, Kingen, LFC, Agafonov from Russia, Denise, who else did I miss? And every single one of you. Mariam Nalmansi, the Liverpool fan, thank you so much. And every single one of you that tuned in last night for that broadcast, as we spoke about, Chelsea leading the rest to sign an Arsenal target, a ticket set for Liverpool Medical, as well as Brandon Bomo being unveiled as a new Manchester United player. So we got to speak about that and a lot more during that conversation. So it was a pleasure having you all guys on that broadcast. So I do not think the situation changes. Hi, good morning, everyone. For those of you that are just joining us, it's good to have you on the channel. Kindly consider liking the broadcast, but also subscribing to the channel and help your boy Robert Kesakos to on his journey to 2,000 subscribers. That's the goal for now. Our mission is to reach 2,000 subscribers. So any of you, any single one of you that does subscribe, you do us a huge lot. Sorry, bro, but I can't see today's podcast because today is my exam. It's all right. Evers Edits, thank you so much for the love and support. Quite surprised that even on an exam day you could afford to spare us these 3 minutes. But we wish you nothing but the very best of luck in your exams. We hope that you do excel or pass with flying colors. So, but thank you so much. Thank you so much, really. So the rest of you guys kindly like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel as well. Bye-bye. So allow me have, that secondary, check for our audios and make sure everything is in place before we get started with this conversation this morning. Because Manchester United, for the second time in running, in a space of under 1 week, have once again been offered the opportunity to hijack Arsenal's deal for Viktor Gyokeres. And will they act upon it? I do not think so. At this stage, especially because from what we are getting is that the player is hell-bent to joining only and only Arsenal. Previously, this is quite similar to that of Brandon Bomo when he, like he said at his unveiling, that once he learned that there was a chance of joining Manchester United, it was only going to be Man United and no single other club, because that's the team he supported ever since his childhood. That's the team that whose shirts he wore as a kid. So there was no way of prizing him away. from a move to Manchester United. That's why he told his bosses at Brentford that it's either Manchester United or he would rather stay at the GTEC Stadium, and we know that he is to move. In fact, he said, as soon as I knew there was a chance to join Manchester United, I had to take the opportunity to sign for the club of my dreams. This is the team whose shirt I wore growing up. Now, particularly similar to this is the Viktor Gyokeres deal, because he has told his bosses at Sporting Lisbon constantly that for now it is only Arsenal. He wants to play for Arsenal and nothing else. He's been informed, of course, of the interest from the Saudi Pro League clubs. He's been informed of the interest that there was for Manchester United, but he has told his bosses that for him, it's either Arsenal for now or nothing at all. So that is the situation. But representatives from Sporting Lisbon on the Sporting Lisbon side that are privy to information or to part of these negotiations in the deal between Arsenal and Viktor Gyokeres with Sporting Lisbon have apparently, in the course of yesterday or the night leading off, this is according to Fabrizio Romano, that they've offered Manchester United the window to try and hijack, Arsenal's move for Viktor Gyokeres. And by that, what do they mean? For example, I oftentimes compare this to buying a car. Assume I was buying, a car, and we are negotiating with you and your brother, and then suddenly your brother goes behind our back and, let's say, informs another third party that these guys are negotiating for to transact. This guy wants to buy the car. My brother wants 10 million out of the car. The other guy is still haggling over 9.5. If you can come in and you just say, I'm willing to pay you the 10 million, either cash or 70% upfront, and the other 30% in 2 installments, you could win it over, and that kind of thing. So basically, those privy to the negotiations or to inside information in regards to this deal have apparently informed Manchester United to try and have them involved, or to have to come in and soup up the deal. Of course, they've told them about the terms and conditions, what Arsenal are offering, and in what terms. For example, this particular deal, we know it totals to about 73.5 million euros, 63.5 being the guaranteed fees. So probably in the structure of payment, that let's say Arsenal may have offered to pay maybe 30 million euros upfront on the guaranteed fees, and maybe the other 33.5 in 2 or 3 installments. And basically, what those agents on the Sporting Lisbon side are trying to tell maybe teams like Man United is that if you come in and offer, let's say, 35 million euros upfront, then you guarantee all these add-ons, then clearly you could get yourself a deal for Viktor Gyokeres. We all know that Manchester United were really, really interested in signing the Swedish international, but the player chose Arsenal at this stage, which then takes me to the next point, because it remains painstakingly, especially if you're an Arsenal fan or a well-wisher or perhaps even an observer, for us, for the neutrals, the analysts, the commentators, and every single one of you out there that is interested in the topic of football, is that it's become frustrating how long this deal has taken, or is taking, to get over the line. Ever since we got an agreement on personal terms, that was a fortnight ago. Then the subsequent Sunday, we got an agreement on the transfer fee, which was a major breakthrough, a significant breakthrough. And then over the last 1 week and a half, the two sides have been basically negotiating over the structure of the deal. And apparently, from what we are hearing, is that they are haggling over the 10 million euros in add-ons, for which Sporting Lisbon has been reported to want very, very simple, very easily achievable terms, while Arsenal may want some of those terms to be a little difficult, or those achievables to be not as easy as as a hot knife slicing through butter, and that kind of thing. So, however, I've also observed with concern, and maybe I'm overreaching on this one here, but indulge me for purposes of clarity in as far as this deal is concerned. I do not know for a fact, or I do not think, or maybe it is not as simple as it is being painted. Maybe Sporting Lisbon, and this, like I said, I'm only speculating, I'm only trying to think out loud. Maybe Sporting Lisbon, in some form or shape, are trying to make Arsenal look like the bad guys. Because when you look at majority of the reports that have come out, that the two sides are still haggling over, add-ons. Apparently, what's left is only 2.5 million euros to negotiate and get this deal over the line. Some sources have said it's 5 million euros, whatever the final figure is. Majority of those reports have been coming from out Portugal. Not many, if any, have come out from the UK. And even those that we've had from, the UK, from sources like Fabrizio Romano, have been a bit subtle, have been like, by the way, mentions. They've been a kind of, they've not so much been in the mainstream media, for lack of a better word, but they've been put out on social media that the two sides are still haggling over add-ons. Now, it begs the question why English media is not running away with this, because I assume, given how long it's taken to try and negotiate over those add-ons, it would be all over the papers, it will be all over the front face, it will be all over TV, it will be on ESPN, Sky Sports, and Talk Sport, and every other, a platform that you may follow that, is hell-bent on sports, or that is, tailored towards sport. But that's not been the case, really. But those mentions have constantly come out of Portugal of how, Arsenal are the ones to blame, or Arsenal are the ones stalling the deal. They're the ones, not helping to facilitate this deal get over the line. Of course, we know what the player has given up in terms of his bonuses to try and get this deal over the line. We know what his agents have given up. To get this deal over the line, and that kind of thing. And Nova Bro, good morning. Good to have you back again. How are you doing? How is your morning? Mariam Nalmansi, hello to you too, and good morning, my brother. You're welcome. I hope you're doing well, Mariam. Thank you for sparing the time to join us this morning. Nova Bro says he is good. How have you been in the last couple of days, Nova Bro? The last couple of days during which, it's night time for you. Kindly remind me, what country are you from? If it's night time for you, because are you from the USA or Singapore, or not Singapore? Either USA or Philippines. Yes, USA. Yeah, for our US audience, it's nighttime. It's nighttime. Usually when people come on here, they tell me they watch, some part of the broadcast, and they tell me, oh, I have to go to bed and that kind of thing. But we do appreciate every single minute that you spare to be with us. So thank you so much, Nova Bro. So the feeling I'm getting is that the Portuguese media, it's 2:10 for you. Wow, that's incredible. I thank you for making the sacrifice to be with us at that kind of hour of the night. Really, really. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If indeed we kept you up. So it becomes a bit difficult for me to comprehend entirely, or to buy into that that Arsenal are haggling over 2.5 million euros. Given the stature of the club that they are. Yes, they may not want to bend over to cave sort of and bow to every single term and condition from Sporting Lisbon. They want to also have some grit in the negotiations, so that it does not affect their future negotiations with other clubs for other players, because as we very well know, they are still active in the market looking for other targets. After concluding on a striker, they want to attack the market for an attacking midfielder. They want a left winger. So let's wait and see. But maybe there is some ounce of truth that they do not want to keep. But like I said, if you've been observant, majority of these reports regarding the haggle over the add-ons have predominantly come out of Portugal. And it is from out of Portugal that we are getting that agents of Sporting Lisbon, or linked with Sporting Lisbon, are trying to offer Viktor Gyokeres to other teams, to notifying Manchester United to try and come in and hijack the deal, even though the player has adamantly told them that he only wants to join Arsenal. Now, it has also been reported previously, I think this was by Miguel Delaney, or Delany. Forgive me for mispronouncing his name. He's one of those journalists. either he works with the Telegraph or what? I'm forgetting. But he's the one that reported that Arsenal are so meticulous on the paperwork that they are very intentional. I should go to bed now. It's okay, Nova bro. I completely understand given the time of the hour that it is for you at that side. So he did report that Arsenal are very meticulous when it comes to the paperwork, when it comes to the terms and conditions, that they like to go through every single bit of it. That's their lawyers department, that they go through every piece of paperwork with the fine tooth comb to try and get to the bottom of things. They do not want, issues slipping through the cracks. So when it comes to these add-ons, everything must be hammered out to the last detail, the way it should be proposed. But nonetheless, I do not think, unless and even if Sporting Lisbon were sending over documents the size of a Bible, I do not think it would be taking them a fortnight to just go through that paperwork, to then go back and forth, to say, we do not agree on this term and condition, let's change this to this, let's renegotiate this bit, and those kinds of things. So, while Arsenal meticulous with their, paperwork and everything, that is completely understandable. But as we continue to go on in this transfer window, I'm inclined to believe that perhaps there is more to the story than we are being told. That there is, and like I said, there's a way Arsenal have been reluctant to put out information regarding this deal particularly. And if you saw Mikel Arteta speaking on it, he said he cannot speak about a player that is not, part of their group yet, and that kind of thing. I thought "yet" was a key word. Now, usually, we would having maybe a Sammy Mokbel, maybe even David Ornstein, maybe would be having a Ben Jacobs, maybe would be having a Sam Dean, giving us maybe Charles Watts, some of those journalists that are really, really close to Arsenal, or that have close sources within the Arsenal ranks. They would have been, giving us bites to say this is what is stalling the deal. Maybe Sporting Lisbon, like I assessed yesterday, that they could be negotiating in bad faith. They could be playing hardball. But again, we've not gotten that from that side. We're simply, thinking out loud to say what could be the issue that is, making this deal stall on for this long, when they had made significant steps in such a short period of time. Because within a week, two major components of that deal were agreed: personal terms of the player side, and then a transfer fee, were agreed. And yet, for now, the last 1 week and a half or so, we are, into negotiations for the structure of the deal, for which it is being reported that the main structure of the deal is not the issue, but rather the add-on. So, I get the feeling that there is more to the story than we are being told in this case. But let's wait it out and see how things will transpire in the next course of days. The sooner this deal gets wrapped up, the better it will be for all parties involved. That's the player in Viktor Gyokeres, Arsenal on the other side, and Sporting Lisbon on the other side. Then, of course, the longer it drags on, the more it affects all parties. Because then, if you're Sporting, you're not getting the money soon enough to go and attack the market and get your replacements. If you're Arsenal, you're not having this player come in and try to fit into the team during preseason. If you're the player himself, who is on strike, not to return back to Sporting Lisbon, the longer this goes on, the more you get mentally fatigued with the whole situation, really. So let's hope it does not take longer than it's already taken, and hope that the deal gets wrapped up sooner rather than later for all parties involved. Nova, have a nice day too as well. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. So yeah, so basically that's the thing about Viktor Gyokeres and his pending move to Arsenal in regards to what we know as of the latest. That has been offered to Manchester United multiple times. They've been given insider information for them to try and hijack the deal, although the player insists that he only wants an Arsenal move. Let's just wait it out and see how things will transpire in the next course of days. Then quickly we go to Liverpool, like we reported, the player is only waiting to travel to undergo his medicals. That is Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt. Deal already agreed for a total fee of £79 million, 69 of that guaranteed fees, and 10 unexpected add-ons. But nonetheless, even in the work of agreeing a deal for Hugo Ekitike, it is reported in some sources that Liverpool remain interested in signing Alexander Isak from Newcastle. Now, my gut feeling on this one is that it may not be one that happens in this transfer window. If indeed Liverpool are still very, very interested, if the player ends up staying, maybe they try again next summer or the summer after that, if the situations or circumstances have not changed on either side, on Liverpool side, on Newcastle side, on the player side as well. So we just have to wait that out and see. A lot of people have criticized the high fees, 95 million euros for the signing of Hugo Ekitike, saying it's a little too high. Of course, we've drawn comparisons with the 94 million euros that it cost Real Madrid to sign Cristiano Ronaldo in 2009 from Manchester United and things of that nature. But you see, that is what happens with time. That as time goes on, I do not know if you've noticed, the prices of commodities have gone up, and rather than going down. Of course, some may have gone down, but when it comes to the transfer market, it's pretty much not different from some of the car markets where previously you thought they were cheaper. Maybe the value of money in 2009 was much higher than the value of money that it is at now. So it could be a reason, it could be a factor for those that are more well rooted in economics. Perhaps you may know this better than we do. But yeah, of course, if somebody just tells you on face value that the two players are costing nearly the same, or one is costing even slightly more, you do wonder whether Real Madrid robbed Manchester United. And yet at the time, it was a record signing for £80 million. So it is what it is. But Liverpool are getting their man in Hugo Ekitike. That's the 23-year-old French international who managed to score 22 goals across all competitions and provided 12 assists there for Eintracht Frankfurt. PSG do have a sell-on clause. I do not know how big a percentage, but at least I think all parties will be happy with that kind of deal. And then also Liverpool, we know that Federico Chiesa was left out of their Singapore squad tour, as he is expected to leave the club this summer, whether on loan or permanently. That remains to be seen. And it's being reported that clubs like Inter Milan, Napoli, among a host of Italian clubs that are interested in his signature. So let's simply be patient and see how things will develop in that regard. Then also, away from Federico Chiesa, the other player that won't go out of the news in that Liverpool ranks is Luis Diaz, who is a prime target for FC Bayern Munich. Now, again, the two parties in Bayern Munich and Liverpool remain in negotiations over the transfer of the 28-year-old Colombian international. So we do expect that those negotiations to continue even this week until they can reach an agreement. So, and should Liverpool lose Luis Diaz, then it is being widely reported that they will attack the market for a new winger with names like Rodrigo Goes, Anthony Gordon, Morgan Rogers, among the many that have been mentioned in the ranks or in the realm or in the conversation pertaining Liverpool's exploits in as far as this transfer window is concerned. Then also, Darwin Núñez remains a player that will or that could exit before the end of the summer. Napoli were interested, but they moved on to Lorenzo Luca from Udinese because apparently they deemed this deal too expensive for them to handle at the moment. So we will have to wait and see how things will go on that front. So we just have to wait it out and see. Liverpool wouldn't want to lose the player, but the player has told them that he would want to leave the club this summer. I mean, it's that strong interest from AFC Bayern Munich. That's according to multiple reports. Then also quickly, still speaking Liverpool, the other name in the Liverpool circles that is not going out of the media anytime soon, for as long as this transfer window continues, is Ibrahim Konate, who has entered the final year of his contract, and it is being reported that Real Madrid could make a move for him, or they may have to wait it out and get him on a free next summer in the transfer window. Now, once Liverpool wrap up this deal for Hugo Ekitike, it is also reported that they will turn their attentions to signing a centre back as well as a holding midfielder. And among those targets is Mark Cahill of Crystal Palace, in as far as defenders are concerned. Jarell Hato from Ajax is the other player that has been mentioned in the Liverpool ranks. But let's wait and see how everything will look like at the end of it all. When it comes to holding midfielders or central midfielders, one name that has been constantly mentioned has been Adam Wharton, although apparently the player would prefer to stay at Crystal Palace for one more season to continue with his development. Let's wait and see how things will go on that front. Then quickly away from Liverpool, let's go. Should we return back to Manchester United? Because Manchester United remain in the market for a striker. They tried to push really, really hard, apparently last week, for a deal to sign Hugo Ekitike, but the player had already made his decision that Liverpool was his preferred destination. So Manchester United lost out yet on another target, pretty much like they lost out in that Liam Delap deal, and he ended up at Chelsea. They were interested in Victor Osimhen. That one is destined for Galatasaray. The world linked with the move for Dusan Vlahovic. That has not gained any form of traction whatsoever. Then previously, then we also know about their interest in Viktor Gyokeres, like we reported about, but the player chose Arsenal, even though that deal is yet to be wrapped up. Then apparently they've made inquiries about Benjamin Sesko and added him to their shortlist, which already has Oli Watkins and Chelsea's Nicholas Jackson. But I do feel that Chelsea overall will price out potential suitors in the move for Nicholas Jackson, because apparently they value the player at anywhere between 80 to 100 million pounds, using the Hugo Ekitike deal as a benchmark to set their asking price. So let's wait it out and see how things will develop in the coming days on that front. Then the other player that we can speak about is Pavis Estupinan. That one, Brighton and AC Milan did reach an agreement worth about 17 million euros plus 2 million euros, I think, in expected add-ons for the transfer of the 27-year-old Ecuadorian left back, who they are taking as a replacement for Theo Hernandez, who left to join Al Hilal in the Saudi Pro League. Then Richard Rios is destined to complete a move to Benfica, as he's already traveled to Lisbon in Portugal to undergo his medicals, while Saul Niguez is going to join Flamengo. I will be linking up with the likes of Jorginho out there at Flamengo. He will apparently sign a 3.5-year contract at Flamengo with Felipe Luis and director Jose Boto on it in the last 24 hours. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. So Saul Niguez did have a short stint with Chelsea. It did not work out perfectly, and he returned to Atletico de Madrid. Then also Jules Koundé is not expected to leave Barcelona, as opposed to what the media has been reporting. Then also the other Real Madrid are targeting to sign at least one midfielder, and they are considering Manchester City's Rodri, Nico Barrera of Inter Milan, Alexis McAllister of Liverpool, as well as Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea. They want to sign at least one of those players, but it remains to be seen who their actual target will be, as they are yet to make any approaches on any of those four fronts. But let's just wait it out and see. But it's been widely reported in the Spanish media that Xabi Alonso would love a midfielder. Then Chelsea have begun club-to-club talks with RB Leipzig over the transfer of Xavi Simons. The 22-year-old Dutch international is a target for Chelsea, and Arsenal, but it looks like Chelsea are leading that race because both clubs made inquiries about conditions to sign the player back in June, and here we are at in the second last week of July, and Chelsea have made their move. They did have conversations with the players' camp, and the player is open to a move to Stamford Bridge. Club to club talks are ongoing. We know for a fact that he was only signed permanently in January from PSG for 50 million euros plus 30 million euros in expected add-ons. But given that those add-ons are yet to be achieved, so that means RB Leipzig are yet to pay anything on those add-ons. That's why the markets or market minders do believe that it may cost less than 70 million euros or 70 million euros to price out Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig. So basically, that's the gist of the transfer talk this morning. I think we mentioned the key highlights in as far as transfers are concerned. Really, so let's go to the latest from the rumor mill, the gossip and speculation, and things of that nature or that regard. Okay, let's see what the rumor mill is telling us this morning. Manchester United are considering a move for Emi Martinez. However, they could be off-put by Aston Villa's £40 million asking fee for the 32-year-old Argentine goalkeeper. Then we've spoken about Luis Diaz. Newcastle are in danger of losing out to Manchester City at their pursuit for 22-year-old goalkeeper James Trafford. That's according to the Telegraph. We know that Manchester City do have a buyback clause in that James Trafford deal worth £40 million, and they could look to exercise that. However, they need to move on one of their first goalkeepers first. That's in Ederson Morales and Stefan Ortega. Speaking of moving on one of those goalkeepers, we know Galatasaray are interested in the signature of Ederson Morales. So let's wait and see. They are yet to make club-to-club contacts, even though Manchester City are well aware of their interest in the Brazilian goalkeeper. Then apparently, James Trafford, on the other side, is keen on a return to Manchester City, so there could be space for him. And then, still speaking Newcastle, it is being reported by the Times that Newcastle are willing to offer Tino Livramento a new contract to try and ward off interest from Manchester City, who are willing to pay up to £65 million to sign the England right back. Then Tottenham are considering rivaling Liverpool for the signature of Crystal Palace's McKay. Yes, Tottenham do hold strong interest in McKay, as well as Newcastle, as well as Chelsea and Liverpool. Speaking of Chelsea and their pursuit for a centre-back, we do know for a fact that Atletico de Madrid are in talks with Chelsea over the signing of Renato Vieira. That's the 21-year-old Portuguese defender. For those of you that watched for those of you that may have watched the UEFA Nations League, you must have seen him with his Afro-ish hair. So that's the player that we are talking about, Renato Vieira. But let's wait and see. Meanwhile, Manchester United is hoped for signing Nicolas Jackson from Chelsea have received a boost after the striker rejected a move to Napoli and AC Milan. That's according to the Sun. While AC Milan are close, we've spoken about Pavis Estupinan already. Then Juventus are expected to step up their efforts in signing Jadon Sancho after when they complete the parting ways of Samuel Bangola, that's 21, and US striker Timothy Weah, 25. Now, Nottingham Forest wanted to sign Cristiano Ronaldo. Wow, I thought it was Cristiano Sam. Apologies. It's not, you caught me a bit off guard there. It's not every day that you see Cristiano Ronaldo come to your live broadcast. Hi, Cristiano Ronaldo, 1122. Hello, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from this morning? Kindly leave me a like on the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel, seeing that you're new here. Do let us know what team you support. If your name is anything to go by, I would say you're a Cristiano Ronaldo fanatic. But it's a pleasure to have you on the Football Tribe UG broadcast this morning, this Tuesday morning. It's a bit of a cloudy morning out there down here in Kampala. The skies are threatening to, to give us a shower this morning. But let's wait and see how the day will transpire. Anyways, back to the rumor mill. Like I was saying, Nottingham Forest wanted to sign Samuel Mbangula as well as Timothy Weah, but Timothy Weah rejected that move from to Nottingham Forest, and he could be on the verge of joining French League One's Olympique Marseille. I think stand to be corrected on the actual club, but I think it's Olympique Marseille as far as my memory reflects. Then also, Manchester United are set to compete with Manchester City for the signature of 26-year-old Sporting and Denmark midfielder Morten Holman. That's according to Ebola in Portuguese. Chelsea are interested in RB Leipzig Xavi Simons. We've spoken about that at great length. While West Ham are interested in signing Leicester City goalkeeper Mads Hermansen with a formal approach expected soon for the 25-year-old. That's according to Sky Sports. West Ham are looking for a goalkeeper. They did part ways with Lucas Fabianski at the end of his contract. So they are left with Alfonso Areola and who else? I seem to forget the other goalkeeper. But they had wanted to sign Robert Sanchez from Chelsea, but looks like Chelsea are not not yet open to offers for Robert Sanchez unless they do sign a goalkeeper. They were initially in the summer they were interested in signing Mike Maignan from AC Milan. Then also during the course of the summer, they've been linked with the potential move for Gianluigi Donnarumma from Paris Saint-Germain. Then also, Nottingham Forest are working on a deal to sign Bologna's 22-year-old Switzerland winger Danny Ndoye. Then Liverpool's England under-20 midfielder James McConnell, 20, is close to signing a new long-term contract with the club before being sent out on loan. Sunderland and Fenerbahce remain interested in signing Granit Xhaka from Bayer Leverkusen. However, their initial bids were all rejected for the 32-year-old Switzerland international, for whom Nayom AC in the Saudi Pro League they are also interested, as well as AC Milan. So let's wait out that and see. Napoli, AC Milan, Roma, Juventus, and Inter Milan are all interested in signing Liverpool's Federico Chiesa, while Everton have spoken to Real Sociedad over a deal for 24-year-old Japanese winger Takefusa Kubo. Takefusa Kubo, one of the very, very exciting players in the Spanish La Liga. However, I do feel that he needs to add more goals and assists to his game to sort of shine a little more, but he's a very, very exciting player. Then Fulham are expected to complete the signing of Montpellier's 34-year-old French goalkeeper Benjamin Leco-Motte in the next few days. So that's the latest from the rumor mill, from the transfer gossip and speculation. Then also, guys, if you're interested in learning some digital skills like cybersecurity, coding, and web design, do not forget to check out our friends at Ebo State. I'll be leaving their link down in the description so that you can go check them out. You do qualify for 5% discount if you do enroll with them this month. They do offer in-person and online training sessions for their trainees. That's Ebo State. They are based in Kasanga, Kampala, Uganda, and they do help their trainees find jobs in the dynamic digital world. That's if you're interested in learning coding, web design, or cyber security. Otherwise, it's been really, really a pleasure doing this with you guys. It's been really, really a pleasure doing this with you guys. Special shout outs to you, Cristiano Ronaldo, 112 Nova Bro. Thank you so much for sparing the moment. Evers Edits, always a pleasure to have you. Mariam Nalmansi, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure doing this with you guys. I want to wish you a wonderful rest of the day. You've been good company. Let's meet again once again later in the course of the day to discuss the latest from the world of transfers and football in general. Bye bye and stay blessed for now. I'll see you again, guys, later. See you.